So Violent Night, if you haven't heard, is an R-rated Christmas tale where Santa becomes John Wick in order to save a family who's being held hostage during a robbery on Christmas Eve. It's, like I said, John Wick meets Die Hard, meets Home Alone, meets the goofy over-the-top action mumbo-jumbo from Bullet Train with a splash of originality. I'm glad to say this one was a hit for me. I'm having a bit of an issue with some movies nowadays, being as that every year we get a few movies that are just putting a twist on an innocent concept in order to be called out and determined edgy. I'd say for the most part this one takes the thought to be edgy and dismisses it to embrace what it seems like on paper. You can really tell while watching that there was a lot of passion behind the scenes with the crew and on screen with our cast. Nobody's phoning in it at all. I think every performance was really great. All characters with the exception of Santa and the main girl Trudy were all really shitty, which always made the parts where nobody gets their faces smashed in really entertaining and funny due to the comedy the film delivered on. I'll say most of the jokes landed for me, which was surprising. I was kind of expecting this movie to take itself too seriously and I would be disconnected from the screen and just laugh at the movie instead of with it. But I found it to really embrace how goofy the plot is and allowed me to just sit back and have a good time. I'd like to note David Harbour is really selling a washed-up Santa Claus who has to become a John McClane to save this shitty family. He kind of believes that people, especially kids, are becoming shittier and aren't as deserving, but when he meets a child who's pure, he gets motivated and help out and gets a renewed sense of what Christmas means. Which is amazing that this film went for heart. It's not just a guy dressed as Santa beating people up with a sledgehammer, which is what it could have felt like and honestly what I anticipated it to be. Truth be told, I'm sick of the premise, naughty Santa. There's like a million movies where there's a washed up Santa figure saving the day. But this movie brings certain elements to the table to sell you on that this is Santa Claus, and makes a dumb fun movie feel like a dumb fun Christmas movie. I kinda like that they went so far as to put sleigh bells and Christmas sounds into my action movie. They gave a huge amount of heart to this movie just by having the connection between Santa and this girl, which gave this movie a Christmas spirit I wasn't really expecting from
For some season's beatings.
that. If I have anything to get a little bit chapped about is that I probably think that this movie is just like 10 or 15 minutes too long. It's nearly 2 hours, and during the last third, without spoilers, there's a new threat introduced that kind of was only there to give Santa the opportunity to kill more faceless goons. It's not a huge complaint, but I will say it would have made it a little more tight if you cut that out, but considering all the action is really well done, it wasn't really a drag for me. The action is wonderfully shocking too. There's a lot of gore and tons of violence. Each sequence of slaughter is done really well and making the viewer wince and want to look away, but ultimately can't help but watch and unfortunately listen, because the sound design is even grotesque. If you compare it to Bullet Train, I'd say that that's the dumb fun summer movie, but this is like a dumb fun holiday season movie. I'd say this movie succeeded in what it's trying to do, which is make people shocked, laugh, and have some Christmas spirit. And I walked out of this one smiling and in my Christmas spirits. So go ahead and buy your tickets, maybe take the kids, because I'm giving Violent Night a solid 7.2 out of 10.
Cool. Where is it? I gotta watch.
I believe in you, Santa.
Please check it out and form your own opinions. I recommend seeing it in theaters because this is definitely one you won't want to see alone and stream at home. The audience reaction is what really had me. Please comment what you thought if you've seen it. Subscribe if you want to see more of me, and thanks again for stopping for a thought. See you in the next one, guys. Okay, take care then. Bye now, and Merry Christmas.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be looking at you from the face down. Or Mac 11, even boom with the bass down. Scheming, now let me tell you about my life. Painkillers only put me in the twilight. With pretty pussy and Benjamin is the highlight. I tell my mama I love her, but this what I like. Lord knows, 20 of them in my Chevy. Tell them all to come and get me, reaping everything I sow. So my karma come in heaven, no preliminary hearings on my record. I'm a motherfucking gangster.